Yes, this is going to be extremely powerful. I'm just so passionate about this, and I think it's something that everyone needs to see, especially if you're in business. I did a presentation on something like this as we're heading in 2025. We have people on YouTube coming in here, so I'm just setting this up here. Okay, so if you have any questions, let me know. I'll raise your hand. I'll put everyone on mute just in case. So guys, welcome back to another webinar. Now, this is something that I have in my imagination because I keep telling people there's no such thing as oversaturation. There's no such thing as you not being able to do what you were put on this earth to do. And that is to tell your story, to put yourself out there. Guys, I am going crazy because people are underestimating the power of social media. It is mind-blowing. It is absolutely mind-blowing. So that's what this webinar is going to be about. It's your next 15 moves. Now, there's a quote that says, an amateur chess player, you think of the game of chess, an amateur thinks 1 to 3 moves ahead. Only 1 to 3, they're, living the next piece. A professional thinks about from 5 to 10 moves ahead, right? A professional is thinking about 5 to 10 moves ahead. Then you have a master and grandmaster. They're thinking 15 moves ahead. Now, I want you guys to think about this. This is what applies in business. There's people who are living day to day, and there's ones who are thinking about, okay, where's the future going? Where is my business going? How can I change the game? And now more than ever, we have that opportunity. And it's so interesting. I go to all these networking events and I ask people, because it's just something that I've always thought about. Where are you 5 years from now? And a lot of people, they can't really answer me. I thought it was normal because when I'm asked that question, I visualize it in my mind. I know where we're going. So I thought that was just a normal thing. And I started to realize people are not thinking far ahead. It's why so many people are underestimating social media. So I really want to get into this webinar. If you're here, watching on YouTube live in this webinar, you're here because you want to have a bigger impact. You want to get your message out to so many more people because you have a gift. You have something special that you've had in your mind and you can't stop thinking about it. And so you want to know, okay, well, I may not be good at the social media side of things, but I know I have this talent, and that's what this is about. And it's going to be life-changing. So your next 15 moves, it's really mastering social media, to really grow your business. You want to transform your approach to stay ahead. You always want to stay ahead. That's my thing. How can we be better? Always thinking, how can I keep getting my message out to people and change the world? So I'll give you guys a little bit of a story. This is me and my father. Now, I had started on YouTube quite a while back. I was just documenting my life. I have the year there. It was about 2021. And I was documenting my life. I had a really bad phone and I just said, let me take people on a journey. I didn't have a business. There was no business that I had. I was just showing people my life. And doing that, I started to think, even at that point in my life, I was like, imagine my children watching this. Imagine my kids watching this. I'm not going to tell them, oh, this is what your dad used to do. I can go in and they can go in and watch it. This is what I used to do. This is how I started the business. I was thinking about this back then. And when I think about it, it gives me those memories because I had that vision. Then a year later, I come to Australia. Dad says to me, son, why don't we start a podcast? And the reason my dad said that is because he wanted to, get out everything he was learning, because a lot of you guys will know as you learn, you teach. I'm learning things and I'm teaching because that's how you retain the information. And so he saw all these people on YouTube and he said, why can't I do that? We're living in 2024. We are the media companies. We own distribution. People are not going to the news so much anymore. People are here, right? The people in your industry are on their phones. They want to learn more. So I started the podcast with Dad. We just started. And that's what this is about. I talk a lot about the future and projecting yourself in the future, thinking about your vision. What is your vision? What is your dream? Where do you see yourself? But a lot of what this is going to be about and a lot of what I do is execution. When I get on something, we execute, and we fail forward. A lot of people, they come to all these webinars, they watch all these videos, but they're slow on execution. That's the main game. So we just started doing it and I started to learn about my dad. I started to see him not just as my dad, which is I've seen him my whole life, but I'm like, wow, you're actually a human being. You go through things. You went through things when I was a child, and I'm here running around as a little kid, happy. But I didn't know what you were going through as a man. I spoke to my mother, having my mother on the podcast, and I remember the first day I said to her, "I'm not going to interview you as mom. I'm going to interview you as Inyanji, her name." And she laughed, and she ended up crying in that episode because she started thinking about things from her childhood that she maybe hadn't even dealt with. So I'm like, wow, we started this at such a at that time. And then I said, this is powerful. And we kept doing it because I said, my children's children can watch their grandfather. They can watch how we started this. They can watch grandmother and who she was and what she went through. And then it got to a point where we could do this for businesses. We could do this for business owners, you know? And so, you know, I had an amazing client, a professional visa and educational services, and doing the same thing with him, sitting down. What's the story? How did you start a law firm? What was your process? I think I may have a picture here. You know, this was, you know, we'd come in and we have this on YouTube, you know, family legacy. You know, what's the vision? You know, he bringing his son into the office. And we have quite a lot of that on YouTube, but it was really documenting that journey. And this is why it's so powerful. So I was able to then grow my personal brand. So actually, I'll go back on the Rubasha Family Podcast. We got over 464,000 views, right? And so now we have a lot of business marketing. Imagine if you had over nearly 500,000 people coming to watch what you talk about, right? Like, this is so powerful. We have, look, a first generation immigrant family getting these type of views, people coming on our short form content, on our long form content to learn about my family, to learn about how we can have a greater impact on this world. And that's why this is for you. This is for anyone. Anyone can do this. You know, so this is me, my personal channel. I've got over to 14 million views, right? I think the population of Australia, 20 million? 14 million views, people coming in. And even just if one person I can impact, that was enough for me. So, you know, being able to get these numbers, 29,000 subscribers. And so that's just what I want to paint, this picture that you have a business, whether you're a mother who loves cooking, you know, and you want to be able to share your recipes out to the world. We've seen this from generations to generations. There's a lady, Martha Stewart. I talk about Martha Stewart a lot. There was actually a Netflix documentary about her. She was someone, a mother who loved cooking. What did she do? Back in those days when there was no social media, she turned the camera on. She turned the camera on and just showed people what she was doing. These are my recipes. This is how we do it. She built it into $1 billion business, right? Because media, that's what people connect to. So that's why we all have that power now. The great equalizer is here. Time has changed. And so many business owners, entrepreneurs, they're living by the old rules. You know, they're not waking up to the power that we all have. And what we did, we kind of took a similar approach to the Americans. The Americans are sharp, right? And we started to see this and said, no, we're going to be the first immigrant family to build the next $1 billion business. And we're going to take so many people along that journey with us, and which is what we've been able to do with our clients. But like, I just want the ordinary person who's watching this to know that they have this power and that you have a gift. And I'm inspired by your gift, even though I don't know what it is. And you can do this. It's about how can you grow your business, right? We're all in this to make money. We're all in this to help our generations, right? And this is a way for you to own your own media company, for you to garner attention. That was what became an obsession. How can you garner attention and turn that into results, into legacy? So this is the growing impact of social media on businesses, right? And you can look at some of the stats here. Right, 4.7 billion global social media users in 2024, and it's only going to get higher, right? And so there's always changes in the market. And I think we're at the greatest point now because, like, if you look at these stats, I started this from nothing. But what happens is when you put out content in the marketplace, so you talk about entrepreneurship or you talk about mothers who are struggling with anxiety, people who are interested in that topic will find you. I talk about it a lot. It's like manifestation. Have you ever been looking for a fridge or for a couch? You know, you've been thinking about it. Maybe you Google it several times. What's going to happen is on social media, that's going to come up in your feed. Now, you could be the person when they're looking for exactly what you do, you show up. I always talk about it. Your front page of Google has to be, when I Google who you are, it has to come up and show me exactly who you are. When I Google my name, when you Google my name, and that's what kind of changed and it hit the light bulb. When I Googled my name and I started to see the first page of Google, that's when I knew this is it. This is the game changer. I go into meetings now and people already know who I am. They've already consumed my content. So we talk about business growth, right? Especially exponential growth. And we talk about leadership. We're recruiting people. We want to recruit the best people. They're already vetted. They've already seen the content. Elon Musk, Gary Vee, all these big people that you know, they can recruit the best people. Why? It's because they've built a personal brand. People already know who they are. So what happens when business deal comes? People will come to you because they know who you are. They say, you know what? There's so many other people out there who do what you do, but I like what? I like your story. I like your passion. I like your vision. And how do they like that? Is because they can see it, right? They say it takes 7 hours for someone to trust you, right? The same thing with me. When I go and spend money, especially when I spend a lot of money, I go and do my due diligence. So people in your industry, they're going to go do your due diligence on you. So I want to show you a little bit of example. Someone who inspired me a lot. Patrick Bet-David is an American guy. He's built a huge personal brand, right? And what he did, he built up his company, to quite good revenue figures. But he thought, what about if I just start coming and teaching people? What about if every week I can get on the camera and just start telling people my journey, right? And so he did that. He did that. And you see, look at his views. And I want you to see a lot of things that he's done, because this now has turned into a revenue stream. And that's why this is so important. If we look at all of our YouTube videos right now, they're for the business, they're documentation. But 5 years from now, what did I say? 15 moves ahead. I knew the YouTube videos that we're posting 3 years ago, 4 years ago, a lot of those videos are still getting views till today. So what happens 10 years from now? As we grow, we're consistent, that's going to turn into revenue. So you look here, he started his channel. His first few years, he only made $2,800 just alone from posting YouTube videos. And remember, he has his own business. He already has a company. So this money is just little extra money comes in on the side. But it was building his personal brand. It was solidifying that trust. That trust. People come to you with deals. You have a team. You're going to recruit the best people because they know you, right? Look forward to today, 23.5 million channel views. He's over 2.3 million subs, and his AdSense is 2.5 million. And that is on his podcast alone. And that's why this is incredibly powerful. So I actually want to show you a small video. Have a look and have a listen.
In March 2023, and there was a saying that great businessmen a lot of time are terrible content creators, and great content creators are terrible businessmen. What's been your secret to creating wealth in media?
Well, that's the concept with trifecta. The market's going to tell you if you know what you're doing or not. Like right now, I was telling you earlier, billions of views you've gotten, you've proven that you know what you're doing. Now, operating, different story, right? The operating aspect is day to day. Content creation, it's brutal. You're either able to get the attention of people or you can't. I'll never forget this. Beginning stages of the business, Mario comes up and he takes out an iPhone. He says, let's start a YouTube channel. At the time, I was only creating content for my insurance agents that was unlisted. Wasn't public, it's private, unlisted. We started, I said, let's see if the market likes the way I communicate. 2 years later, we're blowing up. We have around 1,000 subscribers. Nobody watches our content, including my family. Then we adjusted. I went to an event, and at the event, they said, pick one word. The one word for me became business and entrepreneurship. The next 5 years, every content we created, most of the videos at the end of it, it had one title in it: raising money as an entrepreneur, hiring people as an entrepreneur, firing people as an entrepreneur. 2 years later, 50% of videos on page one were from our channel, and then that's how I started growing. But the market's going to tell you, you can either speak, you can either are good for video, or you're good at writing. Everybody has one of those.
So that's incredibly powerful what he was just saying. And that's what I want to talk about, what's happening in the world. Especially when you have a niche. So what he started to do was he got so good at teaching entrepreneurship, but in every one of his videos, he had entrepreneur, how to strategize as an entrepreneur, how to hire as an entrepreneur. So when people are Googling entrepreneur, guess who comes up? Patrick Bet-David. That is how intentional it was. This is things of planning, of strategical planning for 2025. You have to strategize and say, look, what am I doing? What am I doing for my business? And how can I just document? How can I show people about what it is I do? And when you do that and you're intentional about that in an incredible way, you're going to grow. You're going to grow. And let me show you, because I want to be someone who practices what I preach. So I'm not even going to go on me. This is one of our clients. He's in the financial wealth space, right? He had a vision when he first met me I want to get out my story to people. I want to build a legacy, right? He's already built $1 million business, right? Teaching people how to invest in real estate. He wants to go into mentorship. He wants to hire a CEO and spend his time building that brand. So you bring in the business. So this is the channel. But what have we done? We've done it in a way, anything that comes up with this topic, wealth, how to reach financial independence, my story. It's impossible to say, Paul, if you do this, make money now before it's too late. So it becomes so niche that when people are searching for these topics, they're going to find him. They're going to find him. So as you can see, everything is so niche. It comes niche to the greatest detail. This is his media company. This is it. And that's why I'm saying everyone can do this. This is so powerful. You heard what Patrick Bet-David just said, right? Every video he was doing. Let's go on his YouTube channel right now. We got Patrick Bet-David. Let's go valuetainment. So obviously now I'll do this. It's better because he's blown it into a media company. So they're just putting out also. But look, how to strategize as an entrepreneur. How to reach your potential as an entrepreneur, how to think big as an entrepreneur. So again, when you're searching this topic of entrepreneurship, you are going to find him. You are going to find him. This is what it takes to build a media company. This is what it takes to get you. So think about he went on to sell his business for millions, maybe even close to the billions, but it was in the millions. He went on to sell his business. Why? Because he built a brand. He showed people the journey. So look, when I search this, look how much content comes up. Look how much content comes up. So now you can build things, merchandise. You can build an ecosystem around your business because you're incredibly intentional. Let's have a look further. Valuetainment, right? So built up the channel, 9.9 million views, 2.6 million subs, and the AdSense he's been able to make was 1.2 million. He said something early. He said when he first started creating content, his first 2 years, they only did 1,000 subscribers. Only did 1,000 subscribers, right? This is a long game. What did I say? This is thinking 15 moves ahead. And why do I say 15 moves ahead? Because a lot of people, they create content. Oh, I'm not getting so many views. Oh, it's slow. I'm not making money from this. And what happens? They stop. Most people, 99% of people do that. They're not thinking 15 moves ahead. Because if you're thinking 15 moves ahead, you're not worrying about that. Same for me. When I was getting 1 view, 2 views, 3 views, even till today, we may get 10 views, for example. Do you think I care? No. Why? Because I'm thinking 15 moves ahead because I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going. I know what the plan is. I know what the vision is. And that's why this is just so valuable. And I want to put into you, you have to think 15 moves ahead. What is your vision? What do you see yourself doing? Right? The main way you're going to get there, especially in entrepreneurship, in anything, is creating content, media, owning asset. You're adding assets onto your business. Media is an asset. So that's why podcasting is so powerful. So if we look in Australia, about 35% of Australians aged 18 to 54 tune into podcasts at least once a month. 18 to 54. A lot of you business people, a lot of you guys in here, I'm sure you fit your audience, your customers, the people who pay you fit into that category, even the older ages, but they fit into that category, 18 to 54. So imagine if you're thinking 15 moves ahead, how you can continually, consistency, year after year, year after year, year after year, get in front of those people. Get in front of those people. Get their attention. Think about it. The people who buy from you are humans. The people who buy from you are humans. They're not dogs. They're not cats. They're human beings. And human beings want to connect with other human beings. So that's why this is a non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable to create content, because if you don't, you're going to lose out on market share. You're going to lose out on so much market share. Why? Because that's where everyone is. You have to pay attention. You have to be ahead of the game. So you look in Australia, They're investing around 200 million, they're saying by 2025 in podcasting. People are investing in this. And I think Australia is still slow, and we're going to show America and why. America, yes, more people, bigger market, but that's where you have the more opportunity if you're living in Australia. Now, we have a lot of people seeing on YouTube coming in from overseas. At the end of the day, there's still so many more people who are underestimating the power of this. Why podcasting is so powerful? Because for us and for most people, it's the most authentic way to get your story out to people. Spending 40 minutes, 50 minutes in, these conversations, you're spending more time, you're getting more watch time, you're getting people to spend longer time with you. And a podcast, why? It's a media company. Everyone today has a Netflix. When I mean have Netflix, not consuming on Netflix, but you have the power to create a Netflix media conglomerate. How? YouTube. You have your own platforms. You can now turn on the camera. We look at Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I was even thinking with my family. That's our next step. We're going to have a cameraman here 24/7. This, be a reality show with the Rubasha family going and doing what we're doing. That is where we're going. We can build our own Keeping Up with the Rubashas is what I'll call it. And that is another $1 billion industry, right? In business, in what we're doing. And that's what you can do now in whatever your industry is, especially if your niche, you love something and you're passionate about something, then you can really be the main person in that industry. And this is going to have a compounding effect on your business. I keep talking about it. Your vision from now, 5 years from now, you're out there speaking and hosting podcasts in front of 50,000 people in the building. Your business, that's all coming into your business. Your business, you have a team, you have systems in your business that's running. Your business is $1 million business, but what are you doing? You're out there talking about what you've always loved talking about the stuff that you talked about when you were making zero money, when you were struggling, when you had zero in your bank account, when things were tough and you couldn't see your way out, you still had that love for what you're doing. And now you're doing it in front of millions of people, and the money in your bank account, you don't even look at it. You're just more like, okay, how can I just keep spreading this impact? How can I see when my legacy, when I'm no longer on this earth, what are people going to remember me by? I tell you, if you Google your name, go and Google your name as you're watching this. You can even take a moment to go Google your name. What comes up on the first page of Google? That's it. What's going to come up? How much can we see about you? So if you look in America, quite bigger numbers, right? Over 70% of small businesses in the USA utilize podcasts to connect to their target audience. They're connecting to the target audience. Again, like I say, you want to reach men from 25 to 35 about how to be healthy. You can literally build your media company. You have your business. You're going on your business. You're working on your business. But now when you keep documenting moments in your business, that's what's going to help you grow. That's what's going to help you grow. The people who are looking for that, who need trouble with their health or with whatever industry you're in, they're going to find you. And it's about how you stay consistent in this. So this is how you're strategizing, even leadership development. I want to build my team. And I always talk about the functions of a business. You have linear growth, right? Linear growth is your operations, and your systems. What happens when you get a customer? What's the process of the payment? Those are all the systems. How are you providing that value? That's a lot of word of mouth comes from your operations and systems, because you're giving so much value to people in those operations and systems, and you're refining it, you're improving on it. Then yes, that's business growth, linear. Business development and sales, right? You're making sales, you're going out there, relationships, networking, right? And content creation, all personal branding, all revolves around all of these things I'm telling you right now, right? In those two things, operations and systems, we always document all of our operations and systems. What do I mean by that? I'm interviewing people to come in and work for our company. That's being documented. Even moments of that can be even put up in social media content, because I'm talking about our values, right? So think about it. I'm interviewing someone to work for our company. Of course, confidential information remains a part, but I'm showing how it is to hire. So when we bring people to hire, they're going to see what it takes. I ask people when they come in to work for our company, what's your vision? What's your dream? How are you going to get to your dream? And how can we at ETS Rubasha Media apply and fit well into your dream? So I'm investing and I'm seeing, I'm vetting out the person. That's documented. So now that comes in our archives. When we hire the team, this is part of the operations and systems. So now, the value of your business goes higher, the less it relies on you. So I'm out of the business, but our business is running like a well-oiled machine, and we've built a brand around it. It's been documented, right? So now content is going out in the marketplace. So now when people want to come work for us, they're already going to know what it's like. They're already going to know what it takes to even step foot in this door. So personal branding, business development and sales. I go into meetings. Again, people have consumed my content. They know exactly what I do. In fact, they love what I do. I go into networking places. When I go networking here, people say to me, "Oh, I've seen you. I've seen you on social media. I love your content." I don't even know who they are, but they already know me. So now business development, sales, it's easier for us to make a sale. Sales, marketing, and we're going to get to that, right? It's when it comes to you. Sales is you always have to go out. And you, of course, in a business, even us, we have the systems and process. We got to always go reach out to people that we can provide value to. But when you build a brand, people come to you 15 moves ahead, because that takes a long time, right? It doesn't happen straight away. You don't just start creating content and people start coming to you. No. I learned that the hard way. I still have to even, I'm not the best at that, reaching out to people. It's not my strength point, but we have the operations and systems, where we have systems for now people in our team to be doing that outreach, right? But that all gets complemented because I have a personal brand. So all of these systems, okay, so we talk about exponential growth, right? Leadership development, like I just said, right? Now we can recruit the best people as we go on. The way I've got a small team already is because I was creating content. I did a video one time on LinkedIn and I said, "Hey, I'm looking for some interns here at ETS Rubasha Media, the best media company in the world." I knew who my audience was. I'm like, okay, we want young interns. So they want to feel something that's young, that's cool, that they can be a part of, that they can make some money going down the line. But that's how I portrayed. And they love that image. And we got interns to come in because I created content, because of the brand. So by the time they already come in, they already know who I am, our values, what we're doing, what the content's about, and how they could be adding service to people. So that's why this is incredible. So imagine now having a podcast. You could be having a podcast with members of staff in your team, interviewing them, talking to them, seeing how you guys are doing amazing things and providing value to people. So, Gary Vee is a great one. Look at the podcast, entrepreneurship, culture, marketing, anything in those topics, he can come up. Any people in that audience, they're going to find him. And it's just going to have a tremendous, again, look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. Patrick Bet-David, someone who started this at a later age. He was an older man. He wasn't up to date with the technology, but of course he's able to now delegate. He's able to have systems to help him do it. Or what people do with us, what our clients come in and do, and they don't have to really do anything, but they get this taken care of them, is because they're thinking 15 moves ahead. $2.5 million. Alone from just creating content. Why? Because it's an asset. You want to build up as many assets as you can. Wealthy people get money and they invest it into assets. Poor people use money for bills. So how can you keep investing into assets? And this is an asset you can build in your business with even no money. We started with no money. So really incredible power stuff. A couple more things. Now, why is this a struggle for so many people? Right? Because at the end of the day, I also have to have radical empathy for people. It's my job to also have radical empathy to understand why are people not seeing this vision? Why are people not grasping social media? Why are people not getting serious about this and executing every single day? Someone like me, I show up every single day. Webinar, content, networking, business. It's an obsession. So you got to be cut from that cloth, to be honest. Anything in life, you got to be cut from that cloth, right? A lot of these people who build businesses, they have that relentless consistency, but you now have to apply that in this day and age to say, okay, how can I use this to grow my business, right? So you can see a lack of consistency in content, people ignoring platform-specific strategies. What does that mean? Well, they're ignoring they're not thinking about the end consumer. So what I mean by that is, what's your topic? What's your area of expertise? Okay, so when you know what your area of expertise is, this is what you're passionate about. Where is the person who's going to pay you? Where do they spend most of the time when they're here? Where do they spend most of the time? Are they a consumer? Are they on TikTok who are scrolling, maybe looking for things to shop? You're an e-commerce company, you sell products. Okay, well, a lot of those people may be within the age range. They're on Facebook if they're mothers from 45 to 50. If they're young men from 18 to 25. Okay, so you know that they're on YouTube, they're on TikTok, they're on Instagram. Okay, so if you know that, okay, cool. Well, I'm doing this and I have a great business, or I have a vision to grow my business. Okay, let me show up for those people. So you can see this, the common mistakes, low engagement. They're not consistent in their branding. They're always changing the industries that they're in. One day they're in real estate. The next day they're in stocks. The next day they're in this. you got to be in that same thing, your area of expertise, blue ocean strategy for the next 20 years. I read Patrick Bet-David's book, Your Next 5 Moves, it's actually called. Powerful book. So that's the thing, people don't have that thinking. They're not analyzing the data. What's working, what's not working, right? Okay, well, like, how am I acquiring my clients? How's business coming in? Okay, if I'm getting business maybe just from word of mouth referrals, okay, cool. What's my social media presence like? What does my Google front page of Google look like? Okay, maybe you have created content. What are the watch time? How long are people spending on our videos? What we're running ads and we're building our brand. What's the turnover rate? Are we converting people? And a lot of things that people are mistaking is organic versus paid advertisements. So if you can understand this, organic means just the content that you just put out there. Guys, this is free. This is free. It is free for you to put out content. It doesn't cost any money, and people are still sleeping. So organic is what you just put out. Put out organic content. If that works, okay, maybe we can run an ad. So this comes to all analyzing the data. They're ignoring the audience. They're ignoring what the audience wants. A great way to see what your audience wants, even in your business, like our lawyer client does, he has consultations with his clients. He's running a law firm. What he's doing is he's hearing what's the common issue that's happening in the marketplace. What are people worried about? They're worried about this visa. They're worried about this legislation that's coming into place. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing in person or even online on our Facebook pages, the questions. Okay, what am I going to do? Well, I don't have to be face-to-face with every single person. That's just going to take a lot of time. Okay, if I turn on the camera and I explain to people, guys, we've had so many people complain about the legislations in here. This is how it's going to affect you. You need to do this, this, and this. Now, he's only done that once, but now that content can reach people at scale. It can reach people at scale. Now, more people are saying, thank you. You just updated me. They didn't even have to buy from you. They didn't even have to come visit you. You've just helped them on their journey. But when you keep doing that, they're going to say, I want him to come fix my problem because I've been seeing this person's content and they've been educating me. And I believe they're the ones to help me. You build trust. And so this is the problem that so many entrepreneurs are facing at the moment. Lack of consistency. That's the biggest one. You can see here, 35%. Lack of consistency. For me, that's what I've seen the most. I've seen that lack of consistency. And it's the killer, unfortunately. And it's hard. It's hard to be consistent. This is not easy. I may come on here, you may see me doing this, but it's not easy. Not every day I want to post. Well, now, again, we've been able to build a podcast and build so much content that it's hard not to post. But still, it can get overwhelming. But I'm consistent. Because why am I consistent? Maybe this is a cure for lack of consistency. Why am I consistent? Because I'm thinking 15 moves ahead. So if I'm thinking 15 moves ahead, I know, oh, you can't slack today, buddy. You can't slack today. Because it's going to show up later. It's going to show up next year, right? A lot of the work I've done these past few years, a lot of it maybe hasn't even come to fruition till now. But I'm not impatient. I'm consistent because I know all of those things that I've done right now, all of that content I've done in the past is still working for me. Even though I may not know it, it's still working for me in the background. It's why when I go out to places, people already know who I am. So you got to be consistent. And the biggest thing of all is you're leaving so much money and opportunities on the table. There's no such thing as losing, guys. There's no such thing as losing. If you don't post on social media and you're not saying a lot of these things, you can still win. You can still grow your business. You can still go and sell it. You can still do amazing things. Hey, but I'm just all about opportunities. How much more opportunities do you think if you can grasp onto that? Not taking advantage of opportunities is not the best business strategy. It's not the best business strategy. I'm always looking, how can we take advantage of opportunities? So that's a lot of the problems. And yes, it's hard, even sometimes financially. Again, we have clients who pay us for this. They pay us for this because they don't have time to do it. They don't want to do it. They don't want to focus on the camera and creating content. No. But they know they need it. So they get someone like us who built a personal brand. When they come in, before they've done business with me, they've seen the way we are on social media, this ETS Rubasha Media. Every time I go on my phone, they keep seeing this person. They say, if he is doing that, if they are doing that for themselves, imagine what they'd be doing for me. So many marketing companies out there, people who do social media management and this and this and this. And I get it. What I'm about to say, you'll understand. That's what they do. But when you go on their profile, you don't see them posting that much content. You can even go on some people who say they do marketing and social media, and their last post was 2 weeks ago. Because for me, 2 weeks ago is not even good enough. 5 months ago, 1 month ago. And they're doing that. A lot of them, the reason why is because they're doing that for their clients. They're getting for the clients. They forget to do that to themselves. We sometimes have systems and operations that we do as a content engine for our clients, and we are like, yo, we got to do that for ourselves. And I always rein in the team to say, hey, make sure we're building those systems for ourselves, because they're getting so much value from it. We always got to be making sure. But at the end of the day, you got to be leading by example. You got to be leading by example. And so, again, that's why a lot of these people, they come to us because they want that taken care of them, so they can focus on what they do and they can have that consistency, because they know with us, with our brand, because we're out there, our brand, when you see our brand, it stands for consistency with the capital C. So they have that taken care of them, So like really, 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 really incredible stuff. So we want to go in and talk about how AI is shaping strategies in 2025. AI, I think, is really powerful. We use quite a lot of AI for ourselves, for our clients, in order to, max production. It has a multiplier effect on everything that we're doing, right? So, AI, what it does, it helps you create targeted content tailored to preferences. It increases engagement, and it's just a machine. So with AI, you could have 3 people in your team, in your business team, or you could be 1 person, but the AI, with what you can do with putting out content and giving it, whether it's audio, whether it's video, AI will work like you have a 20-man team. AI will work like you're a 10-man team. We use quite a lot of AI because we have so much content. Now we have AI helping us propel to that next level, because we're a media company. So we got to act like a media company, right? So one big thing that I want to focus on, it saves time. It improves that position and boosts engagement. Now, it's not only AI by itself. You, as your intelligence, I say human intelligence and AI is enhanced intelligence, enhanced. So by us programming AI and using AI, it helps us give that value to our clients and for us to have that huge effect. So you want to stay ahead and say, how can I also use AI? Or if you have a team, you have a marketing team, you're also seeing, are you guys using AI? You're going to see if their quality is up to standard and if they're doing things at a mass production level. Some of our clients may not even know we use it, but it's just so good that we're on top of that. You're going to see things like AI influencers that are coming up, people who are into e-commerce, right? You may not need influencers anymore. I still think people like who do UGC content influencers in a way, and I do that because anyone can be an influencer now. A part of our business is I do UGC content for people. That means user-generated content. So someone might say, hey, can you make an advertisement for me for this journal? So I'll go in and with my camera say, hey, for all the business owners out there, this journal has changed my life. I was able to do this, and telling a story, that's content that they can now use for their advertisements. Soon they'll be able to have AI do that. Now, someone like me will always be irreplaceable because you can't replace that human connection. People will always connect to humans. There's things that I do, and there's other people that do. When you pay someone to do that's going to have that connection. It's going to reach people. And, so I don't think it will ever replace humans, but a lot of humans who are doing it, some of them are useless. Some creators, they don't have that quick speed. They don't have the execution. Well, an AI will come in and create an advertisement for you that can drive results and drive revenue, and you own it. You tell it what to do. It doesn't go to sleep, and it doesn't say, oh, I'll do it. No, it does it straight away, and you can prompt it. So that's why AI is going to be huge for your business in 2025. And again, where are we? We're thinking 15 moves ahead. And let me show you an example. This was through AI. We put this video into AI, and look.
This is so powerful. With the podcast, what we do, we strategically reach out to referral partners, those other people, and we don't sell to them. What do we say? We say, you come on my podcast. And no one is going to say no to come on your podcast. And when you do that, you're not doing it to get the sale, but you're building that relationship. And we're also doing them a favor because you're helping them. And when you do that, you're just kind of position yourself at ease.
So this is through AI that we used. Boom, content gets out there, got quite a good amount of views, great for LinkedIn, social media platforms. Even the audio, this was in a noisy room. There was a lot of noise in that room. but we put my audio through AI. I had the mic on, so at least picks up exactly what I'm saying. And now what does it do? It smooths out the audio so nicely that I'm clear. If you come in and watch this video, you can get that value. So this is powerful because this now goes into platforms and culture, because you want to utilize different social media platforms, right? We have X, we have Facebook, we have LinkedIn, right? I'm in B2B. So this content for me is so perfect for LinkedIn, but we repurpose this everywhere because why? We want to garner attention. It's about being omnipresent, absolutely everywhere, in your face, 765 times a day, if that even makes sense. So this content now you can put on different platforms to grow your reach. YouTube Shorts is powerful. How to think about your next 15 moves, how to start a podcast, things that people are searching for. So now you can use AI to help you get to more people. So that's the end of the goal, is to reach more people talking about what you do, what you love. I'll give you a small example. Let's look at some of our analytics just to show you what I am talking about. Let's go live in the field, in the trenches, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so we will go to account. Okay, so let's see one of our clients here. So if you look at this analytics, right, what's happening? So he's here in Australia. He's reaching people all across the world. This is exactly what I'm talking about. AI, content, niche, being really niche specific, wealth, generational wealth, entrepreneurship, mentorship, right? So now all these people are coming across this because this is what they're searching for. So imagine if your business is getting this amount of, more eyes on your business a month, and it keeps increasing. And then this now turns into revenue. This now turns into income, because now when this numbers come to 1,200,000, 500,000, this turns to income. Look at the watch time hours. 150 hours people have spent watching his content. 150 hours. What did I say? It takes 7 hours for someone to trust you. Well, he's broken that. 150 hours. People are going to trust him. Hey, look at this. Look at this. Look how green it is, right? So this is what it means to garner attention. We'll go on, I think we have Rubasha Family. We're on about 20,000 views. Let me even show you guys quickly. Let's go. And I'm just showing you this as inspiration. So like, what about if this is you? What about if these eyes are on your business, right? What about if you can garner this attention consistently? So we look at analytics. 20,000 views in the last 28 days of people who've never heard of Rubasha before, of our last name. They can come in and see this. 20,000 views every 28 days. Look at all the people who are coming. Look at the watch time. We had 150 on him, 211 watch time hours. People are spending more time with me. People are spending more time with me, and I'm not even in the room, right? That's incredibly powerful. 211 watch time hours. So this guys it's a non-negotiable. Always, you're going to miss out on market share. You're going to miss out on revenue. For him, we're doing workshops, hosting workshops, bringing people in the room. We have one tomorrow. We're documenting. It's going to be powerful. And that's what happens because he's built a brand. People know, like, and trust him. So if anyone wants to ask any questions, they've come in here on live. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know on, how you can, just use these strategies to grow your empire. Again, you want to be so intentional about this. Intention. I can't stress that enough. How can we build more revenue streams by focusing on our area of expertise, right? How can we do that? So I got a question here. How can a small business effectively leverage emerging trends in social media? Things like AI-driven, and to build a strong brand and drive measurable growth in 2025? Wow, that's a very detailed question. Well, the way a small business can do that is really by being creative, right? So you want to stick to what you're good at. So let's say, for example, you're in mortgage broking, right? And you help people get mortgages on their house. So it's like, okay, well, what's happening in the marketplace, right? For example, you can, like this video I showed you guys earlier here. This is a young entrepreneur. You can get one of your young executives, one of your young team members to come in and ask you a question. Let's look at the style again.
In March 2020.
Oh, no, it doesn't show it, but he comes up to him and says, hey, I have a few questions to ask you as an entrepreneur. Yeah, sure, ask me a few questions, right? Because even this video, someone watches it, this is building his brand, right? Because people, oh, I love his advice. I love what he has to say. So for example, what do I mean by that? How can you use the emerging trends? Is doing things like that is having ways where you're already in your business operations. You're not going outside of your zone of genius, but you're saying, okay, how can I just tell people more about what I'm doing? Someone comes and asks you, hey, we're struggling to get a mortgage. The cost of living is so high. How can I do it? This is how you do it. The mortgage rates are like this, and the way you can get your first mortgage is by being able to leverage this, be able to have this down deposit, and you could do it with no money, for example. So what you're doing there, you're using emerging trends. You're using how young people are on their phones. They want to see something that's creative, something that's cool, something that they can relate with, right? Again, you see the contrast here. He's a young guy. He's built up his YouTube channel by going and asking entrepreneurs questions, right? And it builds their brand and it builds his brand. So you could do that in your business by getting people to come in and ask you questions. A podcast as well. You could do something like a podcast. You can have Zoom calls with people in your industry. You're going to have meetings anyway. So you might as well record it. And now you can use that and use AI, use certain programs that Video AI, there's Opus Clips to be able to put that out there. Next question. What key metrics should entrepreneurs focus on in 2025 when it comes to social media strategies, and how do these insights guide adjustments to maximize ROI? So what key metrics I think entrepreneurs should focus on is what's your organic reach doing? So for example, like he's an entrepreneur and YouTube, everyone knows YouTube. He has a goal. So it comes into, what's your goal? Are you thinking 15 moves ahead? So when I met this client, his 15 moves ahead was thinking, I want to move from working in my business as a CEO, having to work in my business, to work on my business. What does that mean? Well, my 15 moves ahead, what my key goals are is I want to be speaking on stages. I want to be a mentor. I want to be impacting people. I want to be, I want to build a different revenue stream by mentorship. I want to build a revenue stream by being a speaker while I have my company running. So that's his goal. So you got to look at your goals and where you're trying to go. You got to think about your 15-move plan. That's his move, a multimillionaire with properties all around the world, but he's going in, his business and company is growing anymore because once he builds his personal brand, the company brand grows as a byproduct of that. But he's like, my 15-move plan is to be a huge personal brand, to be an Elon Musk, to be, a Steve Jobs. Yes, you got to think big. So those are his goals. Okay, so we work backwards. Okay, what can we do now? So we use social media. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to use where the attention is. Tomorrow, the attention could be on virtual reality. Well, if the attention is there, we're going to move there, right? So you're getting the attention, right? Okay, so now you've got the attention, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, where else? So let's break it down to one platform to make things easier. So these are some key metrics to see how can I use this to now drive growth and drive revenue like you asked. Okay, so 18,000 views in the last 28 days. Okay, what am I looking at? Okay, I'm looking at the views. So I'm getting numbers. People are coming and consuming me. Okay, people are spending 150 hours. That's a lot of hours people are watching me. A lot of hours. That's just the last 28 days. Let's look at the last 90 days. The last 90 days, he's had 30,000 views in the last 90 days. Over 344 watch hours. Okay, so what does that mean? How can we use that? So we're getting a lot of attention right now. People coming in on our short form content, people coming in on my long form content to watch me. So, okay, so now what we'll do is say, how can we turn that into revenue? How can we turn that into revenue? So in every video, we put in advertisements. Every video, they're watching a video just like you watch TV, you're watching TV at home, there's an advertisement that comes on. This is organic. Okay, so how can we drive that into revenue? Yes, it's a long-term game. People are not going to act straight away, but we're building the trust. So the key metrics, we're seeing the views and how much time they're spending on our videos, which I just showed you was the average view duration. So if we're having people spend 8 minutes, 9 minutes, people are spending a lot of time on our content, that's a fantastic thing. That's a great metric for us. So now how can we give a call to action? So let's say say if I come on one of his videos, so we go on okay, so now people are going to come in. I just want to see if it's this one. No, that's not the right one. Let's have a look. So we want to now convert those people. How can we convert those people? How can we convert that attention to drive results and drive revenue? So that's something that we may need to update, because we strategically are putting a landing page. So now when people come in, well, he wants to build his mentorship. He wants to build his area of expertise as being a mentor, right? I want to be a mentor. Look, again, strategy. Why is the right keynote speaker for your next event? So we're building that factor for people to come in and to be able to book him as a speaker, right? So we're going to go on his landing page, because that is the main funnel. So now when they come in and watch a video, this is what they come into. So this is now how you can drive revenue. They watch you, they spend time with you, they trust you, and say, you know what? I love this guy's passion so much. I love his video so much. Imagine what it'd be like if I could work with him. Now we put in advertisements that people can come in, and now they see an advertisement about him, they can be in touch. So now this is how we can drive that revenue. People can come in, pay to come into the workshop, and that's driving revenue. People are going to come in and watch him. That could be your business. It could be a product. It could be a service. You could be putting a product in here that people, because what happens is when you build a personal brand, when you do marketing, you build people who actually want to come for you. He can, for example, we grow 10 years in the game, 15 years a game. He can go and launch a merchandise of Build Wealth as a t-shirt, a production line. People will go and buy that t-shirt because they like him. They like his personal brand. So that's how you're using social media. You're using these metrics of watch hours and the views and the amount of attention you're getting to now drive people to your business. So you're using that attention, those analytics, we're using that. You're using all of those analytics to drive people to your what? To your business, to your product, to your service. So I think that is a great way that, you can really use these things. So guys, we're doing something really, really special right now. This is our innovative campaign that we're doing. And, for a lot of people who want this taken care of, they want to get going straight away. They want something that their children can be proud of. So what we're doing, when people come in to work with us, when people want to come in and have their own podcast, they're going to get their own free podcast with Rubasha Family, with ETS Rubasha Media. They're going to get their own service, own personalized podcast where they have someone coming in like myself, like our amazing team, to interview them, to get that juice, to get their story. Straight away, we position them as an expert now as they come in, as we now build their podcast. So straight away from day one, when you come in and work with ETS Rubasha Media, you're already getting your brand out to thousands to millions across the world. That gets plastered on our platform. That, again, is our 15-move plan, that as we grow into the next billion-dollar company, you have real estate there. You have people that can drive attention to your business and put you in the spotlight. That is what we're doing, and we are changing the world. So the people who want to come in, and as we're looking for 2025, you're looking at your next 15-move plan, you can already get it in the marketplace by day one. You get an interview. You're going to be the guest. You're going to be the VIP that comes in and gets treated like that gets positioned at that from day one when you join ETS Rubasha Media, for us to take care of this for you. You don't have to worry about consistency. But the number one key thing is there. You will get your own free personalized podcast interview where you are the guest. You are the spotlight. Your story is going out to millions across the world from day one, while now we're going to produce your own media company. That is an amazing way we can provide value. And it's a limited offer that we're doing, but we're doing it strategically because it is our innovative campaign. It is our campaign to be able to provide max value for anyone who is thinking 15 moves ahead. So I'm doing something special. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. You scan this QR code, you connect with me on LinkedIn, and we'll see if you have what it takes to think 15 moves ahead. This presentation was all about 15 moves ahead. And if you want that, if you want to go from day one without lifting a finger, with being the person who could be in the guest and close your eyes and tell your story and be positioned as a figure of authority, as a legend, and a person of high status straight away that gets put on your platforms, that gets put on our platforms for free because you've been able to get yourself out there. Of course, only for the people who join us in our roster, to be able to be getting speaking engagements, for you to come into this, join this community, to get that interview. So now you can also be an authority speaking across thousands across the world while you have your own podcast. So powerful. I'm getting goosebumps. So thank you guys for watching this webinar, for tuning in. Thank you for all the people on YouTube. We really appreciate you tuning into this, and we will see you very soon.
If you really enjoyed this video, make sure to click here, and I'm sure you're going to love that one.